What's up, YouTube? It's Buckshot33 coming through with another video. So I'm going to go ahead and do something outside of the whole unboxing and collecting, and I'm gonna just do my review of Batman vs Superman. I had said that I was gonna do that. Um, I have been waiting for a time to just get a little bit of time to make this video, and so now I have it. And so what I first want to do is, let you guys know that, if you're, afraid of having the movie spoiled for you, you may want to go ahead and watch this video at a later time after you've seen the movie. Um, you know, I'm just going to get right into it specifically and go through it. So, I mean, if you don't mind, if you've seen it and want to just hear my explanation, thank you for watching, and I hope you watch to the end. If you haven't seen it and don't mind, hearing some spoilers, then all right, strap in because we're gonna get going. So, the movie itself, my actual thoughts on the movie was that the movie was, I think it was good in terms of that it was, really visually, eye candy. It was really like well done as far as like the visuals are concerned. Story wise, they tried to jam as much as they could into that movie. And, you know, I understand where they're coming from on that front, where it's just like, DC is trying to catch Marvel. I mean, at least that's what it seems like. I mean, I don't know the actual plan. I don't work for DC. If I did, if I did, I'd probably have, a lot better comic videos when it comes to like, the stuff I would be able to purchase. And I'd probably have my own book that I'd be like, hey, check this book out because I work on this. But yeah, I don't work for DC, so I can't say what their motivations are, or Marvel or any other comic entity. But um, what it seems like to me is that, it's no secret that, Marvel has just been putting out nothing but gold when it comes to their movies. Let's put it this way, Marvel themselves. If you're gonna bring up the Fantastic Four movie, that is other people having control of Marvel properties, not the same thing. But Marvel, the actual company itself, is putting out gems every single time. Um, and so DC, I think, is trying to do the same thing, but they want to catch up. They want to have their team movie, the Justice League, and they want to be able to, just have, you know, pretty much their dog in the fight against Marvel. Um, what they're not thinking about is that they have to have, you know, when it comes to these type of movies, you have to have build. And what I'm saying about that was just that, in like if you look at trailers for, like Guardians of the Galaxy, even so much as you know, the Captain America, Winter Soldier, and just others, like they give you little bits and pieces, but they don't give you the whole thing. And that was one of the big things that one of the big mistakes I feel like they did in the trailers for, Batman versus Superman is they gave you so much of the movie in the trailer that really, I mean, seeing it yourself, I mean, you could have basically picked up the whole plot, or the whole feeling of the movie just from the trailer itself, and that kind of hurts them a little bit. Now, as far as the movie itself is concerned, I mean, like I said, it's a good movie. Like, it wasn't the worst thing they've ever done. It's not Green Lantern. Green Lantern was terrible. This is definitely watchable. It's definitely enjoyable. But it's not like on par with like the Dark Knight. I mean, I consider the Dark Knight to be one of the best DC themed movies that's ever been. But they for a first showing, as far as trying to do a team up movie, it's a good one. Um, so with that, just to go into the movie as it starts. So it starts out with the funeral of Martha and Thomas Wayne, and shows you how Batman discovers the Batcave, and from there they jump right into the battle with Zod and Superman from the Superman movie Man of Steel. And so as that's going on, the city's being destroyed by I beams and things like that. And one of the Bruce Wayne's there to witness the destruction firsthand, and he is pretty shaken up when he sees Wayne Tech employee that's has his legs crushed by falling debris, and just to see how powerful one being is. And so this starts him off on a path of just like this really, really irrational fear and kind of just inexplicable hatred of Superman. Outside of the fact that he just doesn't understand him. And so we'll be getting into more of that a little bit later, because it's definitely out of character for Batman to react in that way. And I'm gonna explain what I mean by that, later on. So after that happens, Batman embarks on this whole quest to beef himself up and get himself ready for the time that he's going to have to potentially slow down or deter or even kill Superman. And so as he's doing this, there's a couple of other like really weird things that pop out into the movie. Um, you know, let me get back to let me backtrack a little bit. So along with his irrational fear, Batman, Bruce Wayne's irrational fear of Superman, the people of the world seem to love Superman. Like there's scenes of whole nations gathering around him because they think that he's this like really godly figure, and they see all these different things he's doing to try to save and help people. And then you have the government and other world nations and leaders that are just like, this guy's a problem. We don't want him doing this. He's bad news. He's this. He's that. So they vilify him, you know, in a big sense on the government level. But then to the common people, he's a hero. So I thought that was kind of stupid. I mean, I understand, there's obviously going to be fear of something that powerful, but when really and honestly, he's doing everything to kind of help you out and just saving people and, you know, rescuing people from disaster. Like they showed him rescuing people from a flood, kind of like a Hurricane Katrina type flood situation. What that type of fear, something that is helping people out of a disaster, is not really warranted. So, this kind of leads me into, the next part of, what I was saying is that, outside of this, Batman has these really, really freaky premonitions or flashbacks or dreams, whatever you want to call them. And, the first one was with a character that pretty much, I think, and it seemed apparent to me that it was the Flash. He was like shrouded in lightning, and he just looked like he's coming, to talk to Bruce back through time, saying that Lois is the key and all these type of things, and and then he disappears, and Bruce Wayne wakes up from like a dream, and it's just like Bruce Wayne is not a psychic. He's not a clairvoyant. He doesn't have any sort of power that like lets him know things precognitively. Like he is just a human man who has great powers of deduction. Like he can figure out any problem, but he can't sit there and just conjure up some type of mental ability to know something happening beforehand. That's just not that's not in his character. And then also the other dream that he had, the nightmare that he has, where he's fighting those bugmen that Darkseid controls from Apocalypse, and Batman being sorry, not Batman, I keep messing that up. Sorry, Batman being held prisoner for an evil version of Superman that basically resembles Darkseid a whole lot. And the funny thing with that, with those premonitions, is what I said before, is that they're trying to cram a lot of different stories into one. If you haven't played through the game, the Injustice: Gods Among Us game, in that game, the story that goes along with it is that the Joker ends up killing Lois Lane, and Superman loses it completely and just completely goes evil. And with that, he becomes just like this really authoritarian, leader who just takes over everything and kills the Joker and just decides that it's his way or no way. Like he has to be the one that rules the earth. And so it seemed like with that happening, with that that little innuendo of Lois is the key, you have to save Lois. That if something were to happen to her, then that would be the reality that you get. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, if you've never played the game or if you've never seen it, I'm almost positive you can put into a YouTube search Injustice Among Us cinematics, and you'll get the entire story of the game. Like you basically you'll get it in as a movie, and so you can watch through that, and that basically tells you that whole story, and you can draw the parallels from that. So back to the actual movie itself. Now, throughout this time, we're introduced to Lex Luthor, who is not the old man Lex Luthor that we all know. The old bald man. He's a young kid, maybe in his like, I would say very early to maybe like mid 20s. So I would say anywhere from like, let's say like 22 to like 25 years old. And as you see him, he's just really just like, wound up, energetic, erratic, just jittery guy. And it's just like, okay, that's not. I mean, that's not who he is. I mean, that's not how he is portrayed in the comic book. I mean, Lex Luthor's just really cunning, well put together, well, just he's well put together as far as he's always in suits. He's really shrewd businessman. He's really cunning. He's able to go ahead and just assess a situation very quickly and kind of twist things to his will. He's very manipulative. That's the only thing they really, I think, captured was how manipulative that Lex Luthor is. But just in this younger version of him, he's just, I mean, he's such a like just spaz on the point of that, like he's like just fidgety and just goes back and forth from one thought to the next, back and forth, and it was just like, okay, he reminded me a lot of just like he reminded me a lot of, if you guys haven't seen it, the was it Batman? Not Batman Returns. Um, the Batman movie with Val Kilmer, where with the Riddler and Jim Carrey as the Riddler and like Tommy Lee Jones as Two Face, and Batman Forever, that's the one, and he was just so erratic. I mean, just Edward Nygma was really erratic in that movie in the beginning of it, and then towards the rest of it, he was just he wasn't himself. He was just this really, really just over the top character, and that's exactly what Lex Luthor was in this movie. So as this is going on, you get more introduced to Lex Luthor, and he's becomes more sinister and crazy over the time in the movie, and which leads us into what's coming to the final fight. So, and I'm skipping around a little bit. I'm not going beat by beat. I'm just going by the big points that stuck out to me. So we're heading towards into the big fight, and the so then at this point, Superman is coming to confront Lex Luthor because he decided that, you know what, it's time to go try to take this guy down. So he does. And Lex Luthor basically stops him and tells him, I have your mom, shows him a bunch of pictures of his mother, being held. He's like, I don't know where she is. I just, all I know is I have a radio that tells me, if you do anything happens to me, then we're going to kill her. I don't know where she's at. I can't find her. She's just not here. And, you're going to have to do as I say. And what I want you to do is bring me the head of the bat. So you have to go across, the river to Gotham and fight him. This leads me to my next point of something that really drove me nuts. So in the comic books, at least where they're the points of where Gotham City and Metropolis lie as far as within the country, of the DC universe. To me, this is my own thought. And I don't know if I've ever read anything to say it, but I just get the feeling when you look at Metropolis and where it is and how the proximity it is to Kansas, where Smallville is, it has to be Metropolis has to be St. Louis. I mean that's just my thought process. A big city near Kansas. It could be either Kansas City or St. Louis. I think St. Louis is bigger than Kansas City. That's why I've always said St. Louis. Okay? And then Gotham City has always been either thought of as New York or Chicago. I think it's more of a mashup of the two. I think it contains elements of Chicago, it contains elements of of New York. But it seems to me in every depiction of it, it's always been a town set up in the Northeast. So, up in not New England area, but just like in that Mid Atlantic, sorry, not Mid Atlantic, in that tri-state, Northeast area. So it seems to me like that would be the best place for it. I think New York. That's just me. But even if it was Chicago, there's no way you can look across a river and see Chicago from St. Louis. or Kansas City. So the fact that they put it is just like it's just over the bridge. So you mean to tell? Oh, sorry, it's just across the river. So you mean to tell me that I could take a ferry boat, or I could basically drive across a bridge and pay a couple tolls and get to Gotham City? That makes no sense. So that bothered me. But then we go into the big fight, and Superman, I guess in the beginning, tries to reason with Batman. Batman's not having it. They fight it out. Um, you know, Batman uses these kryptonite weapons in order to take down Superman. And he does. And so what happens is, at the moment that he has his kryptonite spear and he's going to stab and kill Superman, Superman says, "They have Martha." And that obviously strikes a chord with Batman because that's his mother's name. So he freaks out and says, "Why did you say that? Why did you say Martha?" All this type of stuff. And he's going to kill Batman. I'm sorry, he's going to kill Superman. He's going to stab him. And Lois Lane busts in and says, "No, no, no, that's his mom's name." And magically that makes everything better. Again, completely just ridiculous. Like, I understand that, Batman at that point was so just angry at Superman and wanted to get at him and wanted to take him down because he thought that he was evil and, he was looking at him as the enemy. But when you really think about it, right? When he had him down, why he didn't have to say they have mother. He could have said they have my mother. They're going to kill her. I need your help. Something like that. But they didn't. So, after that, they decided to work together. And so Batman's able to triangulate with his equipment, triangulate and locate Superman's mom. And he goes in with his jet to try to, to go ahead and beat up one by one the people that are holding his mother. And they have a flamethrower and all types of other guns ready to put this woman away. But Batman busts in and literally takes them out one by one, as far as the fights go. A couple times they gang up on him and he beats them. But the point is this. There's literally like 12 or 15 guys in that room. Any one of them could have just turned and shot this woman right in the head and then ended all of it, right? And Batman's fighting for nothing at that point. But they didn't. I understand it's a movie. They're not going to kill her off like that. But, it was just ridiculous. And then it's just like, okay, now Superman was weakened by the kryptonite. I understand that. But, I mean, the kryptonite effect didn't kill him forever. Lois got him away from that, got him away from the spear. And, the mist that was, shot into his face should have dissipated and he would have been fine. Because, he got shot in the face the first time. It dissipated. And he was standing tall again, ready to fight until he got hit again with another pellet of, kryptonite mist. So at that point, he could have gone. He could have said, "Batman, where are you? I'm right over here." Flew over, took everybody out that he needed to, or even not even, he wouldn't have to take anybody out. Flew over, snatched his mother, put her down safely, and then they could have gone right to Luthor and be like, "All right, look, we're taking you in now." That's not what happened. Unfortunately, they went with, what was supposed to be dramatic and built up for the movie, and I understand that. I mean, it was an awesome fight scene with Batman beating all those guys up and everything. But, now we go into Luthor's, I guess, last card in his deck is, he's going to pull out Doomsday. So he took General Zod's body, genetically re-engineered it with Kryptonian science, which, don't ask me how he knows how to use it. He's smart, but to be a scientist on that level, to be that young, I know that in the comic, they've allowed for Lex Luthor to do science experiments and stuff like that. But you're talking about like almost like Brainiac level intelligence at that point. You're not talking about, Lex Luthor just normal human who might dabble in science. That's like, has a little bit of knowledge of, chemistry and stuff like that. So, he's using this Kryptonian science like he's known it his whole life. So he creates Doomsday. Doomsday comes out. They start fighting, and then Wonder Woman comes and tries to help them out with the battle. And so, long story short, they fight, and Superman, going in to try to kill Doomsday, ends up getting stabbed in the chest, and he falls down and dies. And so, he dies. They have a funeral for him. The world is mourning the loss of a great hero. and Wonder Woman and Batman kind of just look like they're gonna team up and move on forward. And then as the movie's ending, you start to see the ground. They put him on the ground, to the ground levitating, and basically insinuating that Superman's still alive in some way, shape, or form. So with that, that's basically the movie itself. Like all the scenes of the movie. Um, so now this leads me into one of the things that kind of just I don't want to just sit there and put out all the negative right away. Oh, I actually did. So I don't want to just put out all the negative and say there's nothing good about the movie, because what they did do well, even though in the trailer they gave out too much and they probably should have never showed Wonder Woman. It would have been a way bigger surprise had she come out towards the end of the movie, as Wonder Woman. But knowing that she was there, you knew who she was going through, and the way they handled her though was good. Like if they hadn't shown her in the trailer, you would have been able to probably figure out this woman is somebody special and important. Oh wow, she's Wonder Woman. You know what I mean? Like they handled her character well. Like she didn't give away that she was Wonder Woman. She didn't do anything to pretty much show that she was Wonder Woman. She just kind of went through the movie, showing up here and there at different spots. And then the the other thing that was pretty cool was how they showed the other members of the Justice League that are coming forward. So they showed, little snippet videos of like the Flash, Cyborg being created, and then Aquaman. And that was done pretty cool because you just a little taste. That's what they did right in the movie. You don't give everybody everything at once. You just give a little taste here and there, just to kind of whet your appetite for what could be coming. So that was done well. Um, the other thing that getting back to Batman having this just like really really different role reversal of his character, something that was just out of the ordinary for him. So as you watch the movie, like I said, he's got a very very irrational fear of Superman. Like he just hates him because he's so powerful that if there's a 1% chance of him going rogue or doing anything bad, we have to be able to take him out and stop him. Great, but Batman isn't that irrational. He does think in that sort of way, where it's just like, if you went out of control, how would I contain you? If you ever want to look into it, there's a comic, probably a graphic novel at this point, called Tower of Babel, where somebody broke into, I forget who it was, broke into Batman's computer and stole his plans, his contingency plans for the Justice League if they all went rogue. And he basically, they actually made a DC movie about it too. It's called, I think it's Justice League Doom, but they made the point of that. Here's the things that they would do to target each and every Justice Leaguer, everything that Batman would do to target them, to take them all down. And so so he has contingency plans on the Justice League just because he needs to make sure that if they ever got out of control, that they can take him down. Oh, so he can take them down, or that they can be contained, at least at the very least, so that they don't have to be killed. At least they can be detained and put into some type of containment so that nothing bad can happen. But the thing about it is that he thought about all these beforehand. He didn't just go into it recklessly, which he does in this movie. He just doesn't think. He doesn't say anything. He has no thoughts on how to stop Superman whatsoever, other than he's gonna gear up and get this big suit and start using kryptonite weapons to try to take him down. Now, the funny thing about everything with that whole scenario is just that when you look at the character, because there is a character in DC that acts just like that, who has an irrational fear of Superman, hates him because he's more powerful than he could ever be. He has a big, powerful, power suit that he uses to battle Superman, and he uses kryptonite weapons to try to kill Superman. And do you know who that is? Lex Luthor. They basically turned Superman into Lex Luthor. And I know that they were trying to do the Dark Knight, because the Dark Knight suit from the Dark Knight, comic book, it it shows like the Dark Knight Returns, the comic book. That suit is the exact same suit, visually as is in that comic. The thing is, though, the way he went about it, though, literally, was just like Lex Luthor. He didn't think. He was irrational. He got kryptonite to try to kill him. He used his power suit to try to, to be able to stand toe to toe with him. And it's just like, it really didn't make any sense. And so it's just like, why not do the movie in a different way? I understand you have to do. I understand they do things just because this is what will be more visual. They're gonna have their fight. They need to have a reason for them to fight. All right, we're gonna make Batman this irrational, crazy, and just really upset guy who can't deal with things anymore. In terms of being a detective and trying to find and solve the problem, he's just I mean he's gonna try to solve the problem in the most scientific way to get his job done. This way, he's just gonna do it, and if he has to kill somebody, he's gonna kill him, and that's it. It was out of his character. It was really weird, and I didn't like it. So like I said, if I had to rate the movie out of 10, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was a good movie. I think I think that they could have done better with certain things. I think it's a starting point. Because with everything, you have to have your starting point. So maybe this is the weaker of the movies that come out, and then they get better over time. Who knows? I mean, a lot of people will say, if you go back to Marvel, Iron Man 2 is the weakest of the Marvel movies. And, there was some things. I mean, Whiplash was not the greatest and, most creative villain you could have had. But you know what? I thought it was a good movie. Iron Man 3, the Mandarin. It was a shitty choice that they used for the Mandarin. It made no sense. I thought it was kind of, I didn't like it that much. But, the movie itself, I thought was good. I thought they were trying to humanize Tony and make him into something different. And so, my point is that there's always going to be, little pitfalls here and there, along the way. So, as a starting point, it was a good starting point, and they always have room to improve. So, before you judge very harshly and say, oh, this movie sucks, I'm only sticking with Marvel, give DC a chance. Because they may actually turn things around and get back into stories that they need to do, and basically like turn things on to a new path that basically they're making good movies and they're actually telling stories and maybe that were in the comics, and then expanding on them or telling new variations of those stories that actually turn out to be really, really good. I mean, Marvel does that all the time. They try to stay faithful to the comic as much as they can, but then they also diverge and go other ways with it. So, all I can say is, just give them a chance. My review of the movie, 7 out of 10. Perfectly decent, suitable movie. Is it something I would, spend money on and see over and over and over again? Probably not. But I'm going to be honest, when it comes on to HBO, I'm going to watch it when it's on because it was good. It was entertaining. So that's my review of the movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. If my review has deterred you from seeing it, well, I apologize, but I say give it a chance. So if waiting for Netflix or HBO or something like that is the alternative you want to go, perfectly fine. I also at the end of this, as we're getting to the end of this video, and I know it's a really long one. I'm sorry for I just had a lot to say about it, but so we're getting to the end of this video, and I wanted to give a shout out to the new subscribers that I've gotten to my page. I want to thank every one of you. The last time I had checked, which was I want to say about an hour or so ago, I was up to 51 subscribers. So thank you to each and every one of you. You guys are awesome. And I wanted to go ahead and just give a shout out to some of the new subscribers that I got as I did the last video. And that's what I'll do every single video. Every time I get some new subscribers and I make a video, I will go ahead and make sure to shout you out, just to let you know that I appreciate what you're doing by watching my videos and participating and helping support me with my channel. So the first person I'm going to shout out is Senpai Comic Guy. Man, I am sorry. I should have shouted him out on a previous video, and I completely just forgot. So I apologize. This guy is a great active member of the community. He's starting up a channel. He made his first video today. So definitely go and check out his video. He's got some really awesome books that he participates in the Sunday live auction show for We Love Comics. So definitely check that out. If you get the chance, if you if you're not sure what it is, go to We Love Comics page you'll be able to see the Sunday live auctions. And Simplify Comic Guy is really active. He sells a lot of books on there. He's just a really, really great guy. So go to Simplify Comic Guy's channel, check him out, give him some subscribers. Check out his video, and stay tuned, because he's gonna have some really, really cool stuff to show, because he's got some awesome books. Next is Merc with a Mouth. If you're looking for anyone who knows Deadpool, just loves Deadpool, knows Deadpool, and and is into the indie comic scene, check out this guy's page. He has got everything you'll ever want to know about Deadpool, the indie comic scene, and just overall, he's just a really, really awesome guy. So yeah, Merc, I'm gonna send as many people as I can your way. He's a great guy, and I enjoy his videos. And if you just go ahead and go to his page, you're gonna see some really, really cool stuff. I also wanted to say hi to Comic Commando. Thank you for subscribing. This one's gonna be funny. So I'm from Boston, so I have an accent, so I don't pronounce my R's. So this guy's name is Contender, D-U-R-R-R. And so congratulations on you for getting me to pronounce an R, as the actual R sound. So Contender, thank you for subscribing. Ike, I saw you a little bit earlier tonight, before you, earlier on. So before you watched the video and I got back, I saw you subscribe, so thank you. Giving you a personal shout out on my video. And last but not least, VinCrew1000. Thank you for subscribing and watching my other videos. If you haven't seen my other videos, go to my channel. It's Buckshot33, and just check out the videos that I have up on there. Please like, subscribe, and comment on everything. And if you have any sort of videos that any other ideas or topics you want me to cover in my videos, just go ahead and let me know. And I'll do my best to go ahead and get that comic topic out there, or whatever topic, anything, whether it's comic related, video game related, whether it's action figures, TV, movies. Just let me know. I'm here to go ahead and just do videos to entertain you guys. So thanks for watching. Have a great night, and take care. Keep collecting.